If you understand the architecture of a BACnet MSTP network, you can walk into any commercial building and know exactly how the controls are wired. In the next 5 minutes, let's build one from the ground up. Start with the physical layer. MSTP, which stands for Master-Slave/Token Passing, runs on EIA 485, also called RS 485. It's a two-wire differential bus, one twisted pair for data, plus a shield for the drain. The two conductors are labeled A and B, sometimes plus and minus. Maximum bus length is 4,000 feet at 38.4 kilobaud, the most common speed you'll see in the field. The topology is strictly a daisy chain. The cable enters a controller, lands on its MSTP terminals, and another cable leaves to the next controller. No stars, no home runs. At each end of the daisy chain, and only at each end, you install a 120-ohm terminating resistor. Termination prevents signal reflections that would otherwise corrupt data. Now the device layer. You can have up to 32 devices on a single segment without a repeater. Each device gets a unique MAC address between 0 and 127. Think of the MAC address as its local identity on the bus. Devices are classified as masters or slaves. Masters can originate messages, slaves only respond. In practice, almost everything on a modern MSTP bus is a master. How do devices share the bus? Through token passing. Only the device holding the token is allowed to transmit. When it's done, it passes the token to the master with the next higher MAC address. When the last master finishes, the token wraps back to the lowest MAC. This is why duplicate MAC addresses are catastrophic. The token gets confused and the whole bus stutters.
Each device also has a BACnet device instance, a separate number between 0 and 4,194,303. The device instance is globally unique across the entire BACnet internetwork, while the MAC address is only unique within a single MSTP segment. The device instance is how a front-end or a router finds a device anywhere in the building. Now scale up. A typical commercial building has many MSTP segments, one per air handler, one per floor of VAVs, one per mechanical room. These segments connect to a supervisory device, often called a JACE, a BACnet router, or an IP to MSTP gateway. The supervisor has an Ethernet port on one side and multiple MSTP ports on the other. It routes BACnet messages between the IP backbone and each MSTP segment. On the IP side, controllers and supervisors speak BACnet IP or BACnet Secure Connect. This is the building backbone. Fast, routable, and usually on the owner's facility network or a dedicated VLAN. The front-end workstation, a tool like Niagara, Metasys, or Desigo, sits on this IP network and communicates with every device in the building through the supervisors. Put it all together and you get a classic three-tier hierarchy. At the bottom, the field layer, sensors, valves, dampers, and VAV boxes on MSTP segments. In the middle, the automation layer, JACEs and IP-connected controllers. At the top, the management layer, graphics, trending, alarms, and analytics on the front-end server. A few architecture rules worth memorizing. 1. Keep each MSTP segment under 32 devices and under 4,000 feet. 2. Put a BACnet router at the head of every segment so each segment becomes its own network number. 3. Set max masters on every device to match the highest MAC on the segment. 4. Always wire daisy chain, always terminate both ends. 5. Assign MAC addresses in a logical order, say left to right along the physical cable run, so the next technician can find them. Master this structure and you can read any BACnet MSTP site drawing in minutes. You know where the token is flowing, where the routers live, and how data moves from a temperature sensor on a VAV box all the way up to the cloud.